Welcome to an episode of Modern Buck. Can you believe it? South Africa have achieved, in my opinion, what many people have said was the impossible 4 weeks ago. I don't know how, I don't know, considering the English that faced them, this is amazing. It wasn't a small victory, it was unanimous. I'm sorry this video is late. I've been enjoying it. South Africa is partying, the streets are going crazy. You're probably hearing people still going off around me. People are partying around us. I took a quick few minutes to really get this video out, and I just want to say congrats. This is for South Africa. South Africa have I don't know, I cannot bring the words forward. This means so much to us as a country. Being able to come from probably one of the worst situations in South African rugby in many years and continue the triple 12-year situation, the first country to win the World Cup in 3 continents, the first country to win a World Cup and lose a match in the World Cup, the first country to have a coach changed 18 months before the World Cup and still take it home. The records broken today are amazing. It's the first try South Africa scored in a World Cup. And before I get into it, I just want to say congrats to England. You guys came and you arrived and you did challenge. You did not sit down to the South African onslaught. Unfortunately, on the day, things just didn't go your way. You couldn't find the space, and I don't know, things weren't as clinical as the New Zealand game. And it's something I brought up that unfortunately, taking on New Zealand can take a lot out of you. And credit to you for just being able to deliver, to still give one hell of a match. I mean, it was very close until the 60th minute. But South Africa just, I don't know. So let's get into it. South Africa obviously opened scoring with Andre Pollard missing first a kick actually, and then later getting a kick. And that was something I was a little bit concerned about, saying those are the points we need. But still 10 minutes in, we do have a kick. England respond relatively quickly with their own kick, and then South Africa again. This is pretty much how the first half goes, ping-ponging above, but then South Africa ends the half with 12-6. Overall here, I think the biggest thing we noticed is some definite early subs coming for Mostert coming on. We had Marks coming on. We had Carl Sinclair going off with one hell of a horrific tackle, and I hope he's fine. I really do. But this first half was accredited definitely to I think South Africa dominated for 20 minutes, but then started taking the pedal off a little bit. They definitely didn't try and keep the ball as much as they were in the first 20 minutes, and weren't capitalizing. And that was the biggest thing people have been arguing about South Africa. The capitalization of points was just not there again. But they kept the scoreboard ticking, and we'll give them credit. Probably the most important thing in that first half of South Africa was the scrums. Literal dominance consistently. Beast, Bongi, Maharba, Kitsoff later. It was just consistent dominance in that first half. Marks also joining there. Well done. And that scrum was probably one of the biggest foundations for South Africa to go on there. Probably one of the most impressive performances also is really great attacking moves. Willie Roux had a good break. We had some breaks from some outstanding fetches from Mapimpi. Great kicks from Faf. And I know Willie dropped the ball once or twice, but still had a great moment of understanding and giving play space. De Arlander, Pollard, everybody in the backline was more in this game than they've ever been, and that's great to see. But the first half ends 12-6, and this is where it's a case of it was tight. It was still, you're not sure who's going to take this. England could bring anything. They were sitting on the line for probably 8 or 9 minutes, and South Africa still defended and held them back, giving the penalty, giving them some points, but still held them somehow back for about 8 minutes. And that was when I noticed South Africa really just have an answer. This team is no longer just a group of people, but a unit. They were on the line for everybody. Everybody ran out. When they went wide, Willie Mapimpi rushed up so fast you couldn't even think twice. And I think that was when I noticed I think South Africa have a chance here. The second half starts and things get very close. There was a penalty from both sides. We get within a couple. We still get within a penalty, and it's within a try, and things are tight. But then, out of nowhere, the impossible happens. Mapimpi and show the magic that you cannot just believe. That try will go down in South African history. People will be playing that try 50 years from now. It was just a thing of beauty with Mapimpi kicking, arm fetching, and then that's just a clinical little pop. Oh, That's the kind of try you want to see, and probably the best try in the knockout stages for South Africa. And I think that's what really just showcases this game, that South Africa did hold back a little. I'm not saying that they obviously didn't play to their best in the previous game, but they weren't really utilising the backline that they had like they did today, and that was the game changer. I think England just didn't expect it, Eddie didn't expect it, and that was the biggest factor. England obviously do continue and get a penalty, and things are obviously still tight, but it's now looking a little bit more comfortable. And then South Africa get a penalty, and then to finish the game, the most beautiful try from Cheslin Kolbe just bowls South Africa. I know I'm a little bit exaggerated here, guys, but you need to just understand that it's been a long day. The 12-year cycle continues, and Cheslin Kolbe, again, is the soap that we need from him. It was a little bit of a shaky game from before this, with a couple of knock-ons, and I don't think he was as comfortable as he's looked before. Defensively, though, he was a solid rock. I mean, taking players like Toa Langi and, he took on a Villapona once. I mean, you could never expect that from him. So defensively, he was outstanding. I'll give him that. But he wasn't attacking-wise. A couple of knock-ons, a couple of bad passes to him, he couldn't find space. But then he just found it out of nowhere. And I think the biggest factor here that South Africa really utilised well is almost exactly the same strategy that England used against New Zealand, where this consistent phase out left-right play, causing the defence a little bit of array, and then just action, a little bit of moment. And to be fair, South Africa did a lot less in this game than they have in previous games, and that was essential. Obviously, penalties were a big part of the South African performance, to a huge extent, I agree. But it was still a lot more of a running game. I mean, South Africa nearly doubled the runs that with 369 versus 200 metres. The running metres of South Africa was outstanding. We had less runs though, but the distance made in those runs was much more. I mean, we had almost 40 less runs, but the distance made was what counts here. South Africa's tackling percentage was higher with 92% versus 89%, although to be fair, we had to make more tackles, much more, but that definitely didn't hold us back. We had almost double the amount of tackles, but still kept consistent and solid, and that's what changed this game. And it's been like that throughout the game, throughout the tournament, that South Africa's tackling and defence has been our pillar. And I don't know how Rassie did this, but he built a pillar to attack from. This is the first 2 tries we've scored in the World Cup final, and somehow it happened. I think as a South African fan, I'm still a little bit shocked by it. Pollard, I have to give him a lot of credit here. Some outstanding kicks. I know he missed the first one, yes, but some really tough kicks. He attempted a nearly 60-metre kick and missed it 2. I get it. But overall, calm as a cucumber under some of the highest pressure ever. He also gets some highest meters run. And then Dwayne Vermeulen, man of the match in a World Cup final. What a way to just showcase what you mean to South African rugby. Dwayne Vermeulen was under the high ball so many times I lost count. He attacked, ran hard. He nearly took off his shoulder earlier with an amazing tackle against him, but still continued to push hard. And I think that's something I just want to credit to him. Overall, I just want to go through some of the players' performances and rankings. Villapona, yes, probably still not the best performances. I think he still has more. Some shaky moments, but in key moments, he was so essential to the attack, and I'll give him credit for that. Under the high ball and under defence, he was also consistently great. We have Mapimpi and Kolbe, again, both of them almost tries a piece effectively. Well, tries a piece actually, yeah, tries a piece, and they just were. How many times do you see South Africa's both wings score a try, especially in a final? And I think that's what you want to take from this. They were silent, but Mapimpi probably, I want to give him the most credit here. Kolbe was great, and Kolbe's try was outstanding, but Mapimpi's try was a kick of class, an amazing move, and just following up, that's credit. But not only that, he chased so many kicks. He was a frustration to Johnny May, Owen Farrell, and Ford. When they tried to get the ball, they're like, how? How are you here? And that's what I think changed the game. Like, our kicks have been frustrating this tournament, but all of a sudden, maybe he was like, no, I know how to catch a ball. And just, regathering rate doubled in this game. And that was so important. We carry on with the back line, and the Islander Arm, probably the most attacking game he's given us this whole tournament. All of a sudden, sniping runs. He made Tuolangi have the hardest day in this World Cup. I don't know how he did it. some really beautiful kicks, an amazing try performance really, and also just really asking questions of their defence. De Arlander continuously running on. Farrell had no answers to him, and that was one of the most important things about this. Farrell could not hold back De Arlander. Pollard also, Ford had a hard time. He could not anticipate and defend, and that is why the meters run for Pollard is the highest of the game. It was just frustrating. Faf took on Ben Youngs and I think matched him outstandingly. There was some quality kicks overall from the English and the quality plays, I agree. But Faf just frustrated at every breakdown, frustrated in every moment. England could not get the speed they needed to be able to deliver the performance, and it was not close to the performance Ben Youngs brought up against New Zealand, and that is something they just couldn't have found the gas. Then you got Vunipola against Dwayne. This man of the match performance explains here. Man of the match, he was a nuisance, running hard, tackling hard, and somehow always able to predict that kick, that little up and under from Ben Youngs, that little cross, a little over kick from Ford, and he was in places that nobody else predicted, and credit to him. The forward pack was just another level. I know that they lost Sinclair early, and that was probably one of the biggest blows they could have had. He definitely has a lot of X factor in that forward pack. He's great, and I think it hurt their scrums, as they were definitely a lot less impactful in the scrums, and something that hurt them hugely. But them's the way the games go. Unfortunately, that was an unlucky situation, and it's something that definitely helps South Africa. Lock performances, we also lost Lewitt, which is a massive loss for us, but he still had impact in the early games, and then Mostert came up and really just gave an amazing performance. Everybody was questioning whether Siya Kolisi should play this game, and this is the example of why you should. He was such an inspiration. Not only that, but early minutes, he takes and steals a ball, literally giving us a moment and almost scoring a try, giving us those that opening kick chance, and just being a nuisance. He was so instrumental. Later we have Lowe coming on also. He was just frustrating, and that's the thing. Over the ball, slowing down the line, not giving them a chance to really attack, and giving us the chance to just be an amazing combination. Wow. The front row, the scrum line, the scrum situation explains it. I mean, so many scrum penalties. Probably one of the biggest points gatherers we had in this tournament besides the tries. What an amazing performance. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you, everybody who's joined the channel. Please like and subscribe. Please share. I will be bringing out more detailed explanations of this final. I know this is still under the excitement of the moment. Forgive me, but thank you. What an amazing performance from everybody, and I will bring out more videos to cover some of the details of this, what happened, but thank you everybody, and well done to South Africa. Please subscribe. I will be also bringing out some videos of the actual celebrations and obviously team. Thanks guys, cheers.